Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing well, and I'll be doing another in-depth review and comparison on my fully opening Maisto Lamborghini Gallardo Spyder. But before we get into this review, if you guys haven't checked out my latest video on the channel where I discussed the pros and cons of high-end resin model cars like from MR and BBR models, please go and check that out. It seems to be quite popular, and it's very interesting to read the comments because everyone has their own opinion on the topic, and it's quite interesting to hear everyone's opinion and everyone's experiences when buying those high-end resin model cars. But because those are really expensive and quite unattainable for some people, I'll be doing my in-depth reviews on my lesser expensive model cars from Maisto, Gallardo, and Motormax models, because they seem to be fairly popular on the channel, or at least as popular as some of the resin and auto art models. So I'll be doing a in-depth review on my Lamborghini Gallardo Spyder by Maisto. This is a really good model car. I think it's one of Maisto's best models that I've got. And I've also got the Maisto Gallardo Superleggera in this very nice metallic orange. And I'll be doing a comparison and in-depth review on both of them later on. But let's focus on the Lamborghini Gallardo Spyder. It's finished in this very nice glossy white by Maisto. Again, the paint application is flawless by Maisto. Just because they're on the cheaper end does not mean that their exterior paintwork or their exterior detail is not as good as some of their more expensive counterparts. These are still quite good models to collect, and I still like to display them in the collection alongside my more pricier models. But Maisto have done a great job with this model car. I've reviewed a lot of Maisto models on the channel, and they seem to be going down quite well with you guys. So let's start off with the front of the model car. Come around to the front. Now these are like the old Lamborghini models, the Gallardos, like their first kind of supercar. And Maisto have done a good job with this one. You can see the headlights are done very nicely. You can see the main headlights and the indicators just above it, and it's covered with this very clear Perspex case. Looks really nice, very realistic. You've got a good Lamborghini badge at the front as well, which on these cheaper models tend to lift off, but you can tell that it's quite a good sticker because it hasn't started to peel off or lift off, and the materials on this model as a whole are quite good. So that's a really good feature, because even on some of the expensive models, stuff like this, the stickers and the badges tend to lift off, peel up. So that's quite good that it stayed up. You've got the grills at the front as well. These are real grills at the front, but they're fake grills around the side and at the back as well. But I think that overall the front of the model does look quite good, and the bonnet does lift up as well. Everything opens up, which I'll show you guys after. You've got the windscreen wipers at the front as well, which are just plasticky ones, but again they look okay. They look quite realistic, and the overall shape and the design of the front is very good by Maisto, and does do the real car justice, I think. Very realistic front. If we spin this model around the side, you can see again really good wheel design by Maisto. You'll see some of the details that you would see on the more expensive versions from Auto Art and from Kyosho and Mini Champs models. You've got the Lamborghini crest in the middle. You've got a really good detail on the overall discs. You've got good detail on the brake calipers, finished in silver with the Lamborghini text running across it. You've got good details on the alloys as well. You've got the tyre valve cap. Tyres are really good as well. I mean, overall, the wheels, the tyres, the calipers, the discs have very good detail on, and I think you do get a lot more than what you pay for in terms of detail for the wheels. It really does challenge some of the more expensive model cars. Again, this is where some of the other details start to disappear, like there's just plastic in the vents at the top and on the side as well. But again, you don't tend to notice it as bad if you put it in a display cabinet, or you display it front on, so it's not too bad. The back wheels are done just as good as the front, and I think the overall shape of the Gallardo as well does look quite good by Maisto. I love the design of it. I love the way the Gallardo looks, and I think it's one of the kind of classic cars now, supercars that you can buy. So coming round the rear of the model, again, the brake lights are done very nicely by Maisto, and I think there's some good detail on the overall rear of the model. You've got quite a good diffuser at the bottom, finished in carbon fibre decals, which is again good detail, especially for the price of the model. Now at the rear, all of these grills here are just plastic. They're not real metal mesh or anything like that. But again, they've got this mesh covering over it, which does look quite realistic. I like the number plate on the model car, and the exhausts as well are quite good, finished in chrome. Not everyone's taste, but I think it does look quite good on the overall model. You got the brake light on the spoiler, which is quite realistic, and this is an active spoiler, so you can lift it up and down. This whole rear engine bay comes up as well, which I'll show you guys in a sec. And there's some good details for the engine bay as well. And coming round the other side of the model car, again, exactly the same, good details, good paint work, very good standard of detail for the overall exterior of the model car. So let's start to open up some of the compartments on the model car, and I'll show you guys. So let's start to open up some of the internal compartments on the model car, and I'll show you guys some of the detail in the interior. So I've got the auto lock key, which I always use. It's easy to open up stuff, and let's open up the front of this. Now again, not a lot of detail here. This is just the boot, the front boot, but it's not finished in any, it's just a plasticky finish. It's not finished in anything fancy like maybe some of the other models. But again, it's nice to have it open if you want to display it open or fully assembled. It's down to you guys. The doors open up as well. They do feel quite heavy to open, which is a good thing, I think. It doesn't feel like you're breaking anything, or anything's not fragile in here. It does feel quite solid. And then you've got some good details here on the interior. You've got the Gallardo door seals, good details on the steering wheel. You've got a huge screen in the middle as well, with all the center dash buttons. You've got the brake handle, the air vents, the driver zone, the pedals. I think it's all quite nicely detailed in there, and I think Maisto have punched well above their weight in the amount of detail that they've provided for the interior of the model. The seats are done in white as well to match the exterior paintwork, and overall I think it's quite a good interior and detail by Maisto. Now again, this whole rear engine bay does open up, and then you can see the V10 engine. Now it does stay up, which I quite like, because some of these older models, they don't always stay up. You can see quite a lot of engine detail in there. You can see the suspension, the V10, the roll bars, the various other suspension units, the cables, the plumbing, the exhaust that comes around the back. I think overall it's some good level of detail in there, and if you wanted to display it with the engine up, I think you can. It will look quite good in your collection if you did display it fully exploded. Now if we compare this with the Maisto Gallardo Superleggera, which is based off the original Gallardo, just a more racier version, you can see roughly the same amount of detail, but you've got a bit more of carbon fibre finishing because this one is the track focused variant of the Gallardo, and I think you can see a bit more engine detail further down the model. But I think it's quite cool to display the Gallardo and the Superleggera together. Obviously they're the same cars, just one's more track focused than the other and one's more specialised for the road. So that's really it on the in-depth review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If I had to give the Gallardo Spyder a score out of 10, I'd give it a solid 6.5. I think it's a really good model, and Maisto always punch well above their weight, providing small amount of details for a very good price. So I'll see you guys soon for the next video, and I'll try and do some more videos this week, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon.